Good morning, everybody. I'm Jerry Devis, and I chair the Aesthetic and Permanent Collection Committee here at West Shore, as well as a member of the Worship, Music, and Arts Council. Behind me is an image that I want you to look at, but before we specifically speak of that space, I want you just to look around at this beautiful sanctuary. About 20 years ago, we began a vision of how we could enhance the quality of this church in terms of the aesthetics. We put a beautiful addition on, new classroom space, and upgraded a lot of the building. However, the sanctuary had not been renovated since it was built in the 1960s. We, in early 2010, surveyed the congregation to kind of get a feeling for this. So I want you to look at the beauty, the significance, and the safety and comfort of this space. So through that survey, we took your feedback as to how you envision this space. And working with our board of trustees, through a capital campaign, and then eventually working with architects, we envisioned this space back in about 2016, 2017, and upgraded it. This space, a huge project, but a very important part of the church. There's another space that, if you enter from the parking lot, has been our terracotta wall, and that's what you see up there on the screen. That terracotta wall is a very important space because it's one of the first things people see when they enter the church from the parking lot. So today, we want to take the time, just as we did in 2010, to reach out to you to get your thoughts and your feelings. So there's an insert today in your order of service for you to take a few minutes while the offering is being taken, and to consider some of your thoughts as to how you might envision that space. We're giving you some options. There's some ideas there, but there's also a space if you think of something that is an idea that you think that's a possibility. And then we'll take the survey, the committee will look them over, generate some consensus, and then down the road, based on interest and ideas, we'll move forward and see how we can re-envision that space. So it's a welcoming, very important wall. So again, in your order of service, you'll find that. And also, obviously, projects like this take considerable funding. So if you'd be interested in possibly participating somehow financially, if you'd be willing to not leave it anonymous and to indicate that interest. So that would be so grateful. And we look forward to that transition of that space. There's been posters there that the late Roy Prentice had designed and had printed. Recently, those walls were repainted. So it's a matter of also now upgrading that space. Those posters are in our archives, and we will find some other places in the church for those. But we wanted this new vision, just as the things that we've done in this space. The one, I think, should I share with you, though, the number one item that came up on our survey in 2010 was your comfort, and it was the cushions that you're sitting on. We wanted something safe for your bums, so hopefully you've been very comfortable from that. So, yes, thank you. So if you take a few minutes, and at this time, we want to take this morning's offering, which is always gratefully appreciated. Thank you.
In the baskets. You can put your surveys in the baskets when they come around. No worries.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Our folks at home, if you'd like a survey, please reach out to Debbie Elliott in our office, and she can email you a copy of the survey, so you can certainly be a part of this as well. We want everyone's feelings about this. Thank you.
Great. And now, a brief scene from The Odd Couple by Neil Simon.
All right, Olive. How much longer is this going to go on? Are you going to spend the rest of your life not speaking to me?
Florence, you had your chance to talk last night. I never want to hear the sound of your voice again. Do you understand?
Sí, yo comprendo. Gracias.
Here is a key to the back door. Stick to the hallway and your room. That's it.
Really? Well, may I remind you that I pay half the rent and I will go in any room I want.
Not in my apartment. I don't want to see you. Cover the mirrors when you walk through. And I'm sick and tired of your cooking. I have had it up to here with your vegan bean burgers. Now, if you don't mind, take that spaghetti off my table, please.
Oh, that's funny. That's really funny.
What's so funny about it?
That's not spaghetti. That's zucchini linguine.
Well, now it's garbage.
Are you crazy? I'm not cleaning that up. That's your mess. Look at it, hanging all over the walls.
I like it.
You'd just let it hang there, wouldn't you? Until it turns hard and brown and yucky. I'm cleaning it up.
Florence, I warn you, you touch one strand of that zinguini and you'll never cook again.
Why? What is it that I've done? What's driving you crazy? The cooking? The cleaning? The crying? What?
What? I'll tell you exactly what. It's the cooking, the cleaning, and the crying. I can't take it anymore, Florence. Everything you do irritates me. And when you're not here, the things I know you're going to do when you come in irritate me. You leave me little notes on my pillow. We're all out of granola. F you. It took me 3 hours to figure out that F you meant Florence Unger. It's no one's fault, Florence. We're just a rotten pair.
All right, Olive, back off. You hear me? Just back off.
Ooh, what's this? A display of temper? I haven't seen you this angry since the day I tossed out all your tofu.
Olive, you're asking to hear something I don't want to say, but I think you need to hear it.
Ooh, I'm trembling all over. Look how I'm trembling all over.
All right, I warned you. You're a wonderful girl, Olive.
Yeah.
If it weren't for you, I don't know what I would have done. You took me in, gave me a place to live and something to live for. I'll never forget you for that. You're tops with me, Olive.
If I've just been told off, I think I might have missed it.
It's coming now.
Oh, good.
You are also one of the biggest slobs in the world.
Oh, I see.
And completely unreliable.
Is that so?
And undependable.
Is that it?
Irresponsible, unappreciative, and indescribably inefficient.
What is that, a Cole Porter song?
That's it. I'm finished now. You've been told off. How do you like that?
Good, because now I'm going to tell you off. For 8 months, I lived all alone in this apartment. I thought I was miserable. I thought I was lonely. I took you in because I thought we could help each other. After 3 weeks of close personal contact, I now have hives, shingles, and the heartbreak of psoriasis. I am growing old at twice the speed of sound. I can't take it anymore, Florence. Do me a favor. Take your pots and pans and just move into the kitchen. I'm going to go take a nap now.
Walk on the papers, will you? I just washed the floors in there.
And now we are entering into the ritual of for all that is our lives. all the joys and sorrows that we bring to this place, the ones that are written down here, the ones that remain unspoken and silent in our hearts. I'll take them into my meditations this week as we all together as one, journeying life. I'll take them into my prayers for all that is our life. So I want you to imagine that you are with me at a restaurant. We are in that post-eating haze time. We're feeling good. We're feeling satisfied. We are people watching, but not obviously so. We're not being creepy. Now comes the host. She is trailed by 4 people. The host seats them at the table right beside ours. We have front row seats to watch what unfolds. The host hands out menus, and a waitress swoops in to fill each of their water glasses. Then host and waitress, they withdraw. The 4 hungry folks are left to decide what they want. Here's when things get interesting. One person opens up the menu, quickly spots what she finds, closes it with a snap, fast and decisive. It all happens before the second person even looks at her menu. It lays there on the table, completely ignored. This second person is too enthusiastically busy telling whoever might be listening that she is in love with Taylor Swift. How her musical sensibility is amazing, how she has artistic integrity, global engagement, intergenerational appeal, and marketing acumen. This second person then starts to sing and dance to a Taylor Swift tune. Right there sitting on her chair, she's singing and dancing. A tune from Taylor Swift's album, Midnights. It's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me, at tea time. Y'all join in. Everybody agrees. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. I must be exhausting. Always rooting for the anti-hero. Boo, 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 boo. So at this, a third person at the table looks around her open menu at the second who's singing. She laughs warmly. She says kindly, "You sound like a Swiftie to me. That's cool. I like her too." And then the 2 Swifties, they start chattering away about their favorite pop star. Now, the 4th person at the table, meanwhile, appears to be conducting a careful scientific review of the menu. You can see her forehead wrinkled in concentration. It is peaked just above the upper left edge of the menu. Left side, eyes at the top, and then carefully they scan all the way down. And then they shift over to the right side of the menu. Eyes up to the top, and carefully scan and then they repeat. Left side again, carefully scanning. Right side again, carefully scanning. All the methodical action there. They just don't want to miss any of the details. Now, when the waitress comes to take the order, person 1 is obviously more than ready, but she is also quite irritated since person 2 has still not looked at the menu. Person 3 has been trying to nicely stay engaged in the conversation about Taylor Swift, but she's also been peeking at the menu so she's not a drag, right, on the ordering process. Person 4 now looks positively bursting with questions. Now, what the waitress does next, that's going to make things even more interesting. Aren't people interesting? Say that the waitress comes across in a way that suggests loud and clear, "Just tell me what you want!" No hemming and hawing, no dilly-dallying, no dithering, just get to the point. Person 1, the one who was quick to identify what she wanted, grins with a recognition that this waitress gets her, okay? They are in sync. Person 1 announces her order, short and sweet. Person 2, meanwhile, has just noticed, to her very good fortune, that a Taylor Swift song has just started playing in the background. And she excitedly points that out to the waitress. who responds with a frown. Okay? "What do you want?" says the waitress. Person 2 finally gets the message and for the first time cracks open the menu. Now, person 3 sighs, a small sigh of relief. They smile. And when it's their turn to order, she asks the waitress what her favorites on the menu happen to be. What do you recommend? She asks. Person 3 is looking to make a human connection with the waitress. This human connection is almost like a spice added to the food, making it even more tasty. But she is disappointed by how the waitress just shrugs that question off. The waitress says, "Everything we serve here is good. What do you want?" So person 3 awkwardly spits an answer out. And now the waitress faces person 4, whose lips are pursed in concentration and whose eyes are still trained scientifically on the menu. Person 4 says, "I see that you are serving gluten-free pizza. Can you tell me the exact ingredients of the pizza that makes it gluten-free?" At this, the waitress, she just rolls her eyeballs. She says, "Come on! I have a bunch of other customers over there, and they are staring daggers at me, and I need to get over there. Can you just make up your mind?" Person 4 pauses. She breathes in deeply like she is girding up her loins for disaster. She says, "Okay, listen. I'll just have my usual scrambled eggs and side of bacon. No toast, fruit, coffee, black. At least with this, I will be sure to know that the ingredients are keto-friendly." The waitress looks at her like she's an alien. She writes the order down, then comes back to person 2 to get her order, and then she tucks her pen over an ear, she sighs like she is exhausted, which she is, and she is off to the table across the room where they're staring daggers at her. Now, could the waitress have interacted with her 4 customers differently? Of course. What if she had been more like person 2, with all of the talkative enthusiasm and distractibility? Or what if she had been more like person 3, with all the concern for making the personal connection? Or what if she had been more like person 4, with all of the cautious and careful attention to detail? Each scenario would have looked differently, with someone feeling like they were in sync with the waitress and others feeling out of sync. This is our reality. This is our reality in restaurants and beyond. This is our reality within these walls and beyond. Each of us brings a certain personality style to the table. Other people meet us at that table. Sometimes that other person is going to share our personality style, and it's going to feel good. Most of the time, though, the other person is going to be bringing a personality style that is different from ours, and potentially it could lead to lots of problems. I am talking Neil Simon odd couple problems, okay? Potentially. Unless we become savvy about the different social styles out there and learn how to speak to people in ways that they can understand. As the great writer Ralph Ellison once said, "I could save myself a lot of wear and tear with people if I just learned to understand them," right? And that's the point. That is the point. Saving ourselves from the wear and tear of miscommunication. Now, I want to say that there's one solution that's never going to work for us, and that is restricting ourselves just to the people who share our own style, to the people who think like us, who handle emotions like us, who manage stress like us, who communicate like us, who deal with conflict like us. As the restaurant scenario suggests, you can't control who the waitress is, who they're going to be, and what they're going to be bringing. People are entering your world all of the time, and you can't control what their style is going to be. And there's also this factor. People problems are guaranteed because opposites, well, you tell me, opposites attract, exactly. Forget about trying to stay with only people who are just like you. There is an instinctive drive within each of us to connect to people who are our opposites. As Carl Jung, the great psychologist Carl Jung once said, he said, "It is very often the case that an introvert marries an extrovert for what he calls compensation, or another type marries the counter type to complement themselves." And then there's what the humorist Nora Ephron has to say about this. She puts it like this: you fall in love with someone, and part of what you love about him are the differences between you, and then you get married, and the differences drive you crazy. There's a lot of folks going, yes, just shaking your head, yes. You know, today's sermon, in other words, isn't just for dealing with strangers or friends. It isn't just help for church committees that we might be working on, or for people we face on the job. What we will be learning today about social styles can help us even in our most intimate relationships. So, social styles, personality styles. You may already be familiar with just a ton of systems out there. There's so many systems out there. Myers-Briggs, the DISC, the DISC system, the Enneagram, the Kiersey system, the colors system, astrology, and on and on. The one I want to share with you today is actually one I had not known about until very recently, until just a couple months ago. That's when, so it was on a first Saturday a couple months ago when I learned this, and that's when I meet with our pastoral care team. They meet on the first Saturdays of the month. Kathy Strasser, there she is, very ably leads our pastoral. Give her a round of applause. She's a fantastic leader. We are grateful for her. And one of the things that's wonderful about these monthly meetings is they always contain a training segment in which participants sharpen their caregiving skills, their caregiving understanding. So this particular Saturday, Pam Smith led the training. Pam, can you raise your hand? There's Pam. Thank Pam, because she's to blame for this sermon. So that particular Saturday, Pam Smith, she led the training. She introduced us, the team, to the social style model of personality types. It had been created in the 1960s by industrial psychologist David Merrill. I was delighted. I've been interested in personality systems for a long time, but I had never heard of this one before, so this was cool. Within 5 minutes of Pam introducing us to this system, I was delighted. People I know kept on rising up in my mind's eye, and each time I would say to myself, no wonder they're like that. No wonder they're like that. There was just something very satisfying and compelling about the personality system that Pam presented to us. So I'm excited to be able to share that with you right now. Let me say 2 quick introductory things about the social style model before we look to its 4 main personality types. First, the basic underlying assumption of this personality system is that each of the 4 social styles has strengths and weaknesses. No style is more likely to succeed than any of the others. The best team strategy, in other words, is to have all 4 styles present and working. The second introductory thing, The social styles model focuses exclusively on behavior, stuff that you can physically observe. People's inner qualities are not necessarily relevant to this particular system. Furthermore, the social styles theory argues that there are two specific observable behaviors are the ones that are going to give us the most relevant information about people. These two main observables are how assertive a person is and how emotionally responsive they are. Assertiveness, that is when a person is forceful or directive. More assertiveness and your nonverbal gestures are stronger, your eye contact is more intense, your movements are faster, your level of energy is higher, your rate of speech is faster, right? Your way of expressing opinions, making requests, giving directions is more forceful. You contrast that to less assertiveness, where you are softer, you are slower, you are lighter, you are gentler. As for the second main observable, emotional responsiveness. That's when a person openly shows emotions and demonstrates an awareness of how other people are feeling. And so for people who are more emotionally responsive, physical gestures and tone of voice freely express emotion. You're going to appear warm and friendly. You like to work with others. You may excel at small talk. You may love the greeting each other segment of a worship service. You like to tell stories. You get caught up and you lose track of time. You care about people. Contrast that to less emotional responsiveness, where you are emotionally restrained. You are standoffish. You prefer to work alone. You want facts and logic, not stories. You manage time well. You are focused on policy and results more than you are about people's feelings. Assertiveness and responsiveness, the two main observables that the social style theory focuses on, put them together and the result is 4 styles. People will tend to emphasize just one of the 4 styles most of the time. Now, I have included a short test in your order of service.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Howard. How about the rest of you? I mean, come on. So I've included this, and now here's one thing I want to invite you to do. Take this and copy it. Fill it out for yourself, but give it to someone who knows you really well and let them fill it out for you too. All right? Right? Because it's about how you act in observable ways. You might not observe yourself very reliable, like other people might. So fill it out in those 2 different ways, and maybe this will help you to identify what your social style happens to be. So take that. I always love giving these little things in your order of service. Stuff for you to take home to enjoy doing. You're welcome, Howard. I'll give you $20 after the service. Okay. So the 4 social styles. Start with the driver style. Now, you remember the story from earlier about the restaurant. The person who opened the menu quickly spotted what they wanted and closed it with a snap. That's a driver. So was the waitress who came to take everybody's order. Typically, drivers are progress-oriented, and they are decisive in pursuit of goals. They like getting the job done with excellent results. They like a fast pace. They like it when people get to the point. When they are low functioning, however, drivers can jump to solutions that are unwise. All things considered, they can struggle with collaboration. They can be pushy and controlling. Then there is the expressive style, second style, the expressive style. The expressive in our restaurant story was the person who got all caught up enthusiastically about who? Taylor Swift, exactly. Expressives are typically emotional folks who couldn't hide what they were feeling if their lives depended on it. They're full of feelings. They're full of ideas. They will talk your ear off. They want work to be fun. They get easily bored with routine. They are optimistic, they are intuitive, they are creative, they are focused on the big picture. Low-functioning expressives, however, can be overly dramatic, impatient, easily distracted, impractical. They can struggle with listening to what others have to say because, gosh darn it, they got so much to say themselves. Now, the third social style is the amiable style. The amiable in our restaurant scenario was the person who was easygoing with that expressive's enthusiasm for Taylor Swift, okay? Amiables are fundamentally people-oriented. They are good listeners. They are friendly and sensitive. When our amiable in the restaurant story asked the waitress, what the waitress' favorite items in the menu were, that is classic amiable. At work, food will literally taste better to an amiable if it is wrapped up in some positive human connection. Amiables, furthermore, like consensus, they avoid confrontation, and they tend to be timid about voicing contrary opinions. They are likely to be slow when decisions are being made. They need a lot of input. They thrive on making sure that everyone is involved. No one's left out. That song that we heard the choir sing a moment ago, that is the amiable's anthem. That is their anthem. They never want to disappoint anyone, which is a part of a problem that a low-functioning amiable can struggle with. To be unsure of themselves, to be overdependent on others. Like I said, they never want to disappoint anyone, which also means that they can struggle to let you know, if you're their boss, for example, they can struggle to let you know that things are not working. They are not working. They can struggle to let you know that until things have actually ground to a halt, and the chance to have prevented that's long past. That's a problem. That's a problem. The fourth and final style is the analytical style. The analytical in our restaurant story was the one who carefully studied the menu like it was a scientific document. They had lots of questions for the waitress about the gluten-free pizza. The analytical person plans thoroughly before deciding to act. They are persistent. They are highly organized. They are cautious. They are logical. They plan for spontaneity. How does that sound, okay? The analytical also prefers to work alone. They have a tendency to be introverted. The analytical person is focused on process. They are focused on the task at hand. They are focused on doing it the right way. They want a rational approach. They want logical thinking. They want solid documentation. They want careful planning. And when the analytical gets low functioning, well, all that turns into nitpickiness and perfectionism and stubbornness. And there can also be indecisiveness. They can get stuck, unlike any of the other social styles, in what's called analysis paralysis, right? Have you heard that? A bureaucratic mindset. They can get stuck in that. So that's the 4 social styles. And now I want us to see how all of this lines up with a classic TV show of the 1980s and 1990s, which was entertaining in a big part because it illustrated the clash of differing personalities. Okay, that's what it did. So I'm talking about, yes, that's right, the Golden Girls. How many of you remember the Golden Girls? Okay, all right. So the cast starred B. Arthur, Betty White, Rue McClanahan, Estelle Getty. The show was about 4 older women with very different social styles who share a home in Miami, and the hilarity that ensues. Take the Betty White character named Rose Nyland. Rose is a natural nurturer, always providing support and encouragement to her friends. Rose leads by example, demonstrating kindness, compassion, and an unwavering belief in the goodness of people. Oh, don't give up, she says to her fellow housemate Dorothy. If the ancient Egyptians could move 20-ton stone blocks to build the pyramids, we could move a toilet. Which of the 4 social styles does this remind you of? Driver, expressive, amiable, or analytical? Amiable. If you have a lot of Rose in you, you are an amiable. But then consider the Estelle Getty character named Sophia Petrillo. Now, Sophia is sharp-witted. She is perfectionistic. She pays attention to details. While she cares about her housemates, she nitpicks them to death, often commenting on Dorothy's lack of a love life, Blanche's promiscuity, and Rose's stupidity. Don't push her to go faster than she is comfortable with. She will sock it to you. She will sock it to you. Let me tell you a story. She is often heard to say, picture it, Sicily, and then an hour later, all right? She goes on and on and on in exhaustive and exhausting detail. Driver, expressive, amiable, or analytical? Sophie is closest to the analytical style. By the way, who are my analyticals? People willing to, the rest of you are like, no. Hey, all of the styles matter. They all matter. They're all great. Neither one's better or worse. By the way, who are my amiables? Got some amiables? Okay, so amiables and then analyticals. Okay. Next, there's the B. Arthur character. Oh my God, look at that. Okay. That's Dorothy Zabornak. Dorothy is a quick thinker. She is a problem solver. She is a go-getter. You want to look to her to maintain a calm demeanor. That's what she's going to do when the situation gets stressful. She's going to make sure the job gets done. She's got opinions, and she lets you know what they are in no uncertain terms. She can be quite blunt. Go hug a landmine, she's often heard to say. One of the things she is known for saying. Driver, expressive, amiable, or analytical? Driver. Dorothy's a driver. Who are my drivers in this space? Okay. Finally, there is the Rue McClanahan character called Blanche Dubois. Devereaux, thank you. Good, that's right. That was just a test, just to see. So Blanche is all about enthusiasm. She is about charisma. She is about adventures. With her outgoing personality and natural magnetism, she can rally her friends. She can encourage them to take risks and embrace new experiences. And she is also very dramatic. Nobody ever believes me, she says, when I am telling the truth. I guess it's the curse of being a devastatingly beautiful woman. You can tell from a mile away, right? She's what? An expressive, right? Who are the expressives among us? Okay, great. Yeah. So I had some staff people fill out this survey for me. And so I kind of was like almost equal expressive and driver. I guess it depends on which staff people like me and which ones don't. I don't know. But I also asked Dave to fill it out for me, and I got the weirdest results from Dave's. And I was like, wow, Dave. And then Dave was like, oh, I thought I was supposed to fill it out for me. So, it's great. So in the Golden Girls sitcom, in TV life and in real life, there exists a variety of personality styles, a diversity of styles. They are all needed. Think about some team that you might be working on, serving on, here at West Shore, somewhere else. What does the mix of social styles look like in that team? Are there styles missing? What's for sure is that a well-balanced team with all 4 styles present and functioning at a high level, it's going to max out. on different dimensions of productivity. Drivers are great problem solvers. They ensure that the process doesn't get bogged down, whereas the analytical person is going to make sure all the details are figured out, but guaranteed they're going to try to bog the process down. Got it? Right? Expressives are wonderful at communicating the big picture. They can engage people with their excitement and their enthusiasm. And amiables, they listen carefully. They know just what to say to make people feel welcome. They make sure that everybody is involved and no one is left out. So all of these folks make for a great team. But you know, there's more to teamwork than just each person doing their own thing. There's got to also be an active collaboration with folks who are different from you. And here is the real value of spotting social styles. Here's where it comes into play. So if you know you are working with a driver, don't chit-chat. Get to the point. Talk about goals and progress towards goals. If you are working with an expressive, embrace their enthusiasm. Don't nitpick, but find the positive in their ideas, even if they're singing a Taylor Swift song in the middle of a staff meeting or whatever. Join them in their playfulness. Laugh with them. If you're working with an amiable, respect their desire for situations to remain harmonious. When you are talking with them, soften your language, and you probably ought to assume that whatever you say, they're going to take it personally. Just assume that. So be courteous. Be patient in drawing out their opinion. And if you are working with an analytical, communicate facts clearly and concisely. Understand that they have a tendency towards perfectionism. They are completely detail-oriented. So give them time for that. Don't pressure them to go faster than they're capable of doing. Give them space appropriately. My way or the highway, relationships, they just won't take a person very far. Can I hear an amen for that? Neil Simon Odd Couple blow-ups are very entertaining for audiences, but they are never entertaining when you are embroiled in it firsthand. When some of us are golden girls like Rose, and others are like Blanche, and still others are like Dorothy, and some are yet others like Sophia, it is just going to be good work to be able to empathize where the other person is coming from. So there can be communication, there can be collaboration, there can be human beings finding common ground and making the relationship work. Next time you find yourself in a people-watching place, next time you find yourself there, keep these 4 social styles in mind. Say you're at a party. Say you're in Baker Hall after the service. Who dominates the conversation and puts a premium on convincing everyone to go along with their solutions? Okay? How about the serious person who rather cautiously talks in precise detail? And how about the person bursting with enthusiasm who simply cannot wait to tell you about their great idea? And then what about the person who, upon entering the room, goes from one person to another, introducing themselves, spending time with all these people to establish a connection? Now you know why. Now you know why. No wonder they are like that. Amen. Let's say our chalice extinguishing words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry with us until we meet again. was given as a garden cradle for humanity, tree of life and tree of knowledge, placed for our discovery. Here was home for all your creatures, born of land and sea and sky, all created in your image, all to live in harmony. Show to us again the garden where all life flows fresh and free. Gently guide your sons and daughters into full maturity. Teach us how to trust each other, how to use for good our power, how to touch the earth with reverence, then once more we'll Eden flower. Bless the earth and all your children, one creation, make us whole. In all connected, planet-wide and inmost soul. Holy Mother, life bestowing, bid our waste and warfare cease. Fill us all with grace o'erflowing. Teach us how to live in peace. So that song is a prayer. It is a prayer. Teach us how to trust each other, how to use for good our power. Make us whole, interwoven, all connected. May it be so for all the drivers, all the expressives, all the amiables, and all the analyticals in this space and beyond. Teach us how to live in peace. May that be so. Amen.